Freedom of speech is a fundamental right that Americans have, thanks to the Bill of Rights, of course. And whenever that's threatened, you have a significant amount of Americans that will heavily protest against that and fight vehemently against anyone trying to suppress that. And that even happens now. And so when we talk about the case between Tinker versus Des Moines, these are students that were in the Des Moines School District, John Tinker and Mayor Beth Tinker. They were trying to voice their opinion about the Vietnam War. And so they wore these black armbands, and on these black armbands was a peace symbol in white. And so that's what they were wearing to school. Well, the Des Moines School District, obviously these were considered people that were conservative at the time. They were definitely against that. And they thought that they shouldn't be allowed to do that, so they suspended them. They suspended them from school. And so, if I'm not mistaken, John tinkered and it was 15 years old, and Mary Beth was 13 years old. And so you had these children protesting the war, and that was their way of expressing themselves, and they were being punished for it by the school district. And so they sued. Their father sued on their behalf, and they believed that their First Amendment freedom of speech was being violated. And so they argued to a point that, hey, we should be able to express ourselves. And the United States Supreme Court agreed with them. And a 7-2 decision, John Tinker and Mary Beth Tinker, their freedom of speech was violated by the Des Moines district. And so the Supreme Court ruled that these students should be allowed to express themselves, that their First Amendment rights does expand to the classroom. And as long as their freedom of speech does not cause a disruption or cause a distraction, that should not be a concern. Well, even today, you will have students voice protest and offer support for their cause. And as long as it doesn't disrupt or cause a distraction in the classroom, then that should be allowed. However, that is still kind of a gray area. And so what causes a distraction? What causes a disruption? That's still kind of a gray area even now. But nevertheless, the idea that you should be able to express yourselves even in the classroom, well, that was ruled upon by the Supreme Court in this very important Tinker versus Des Moines case.